Okay, let's jump right into our deep dive today. We're looking at Psalm 65, and it really starts off with some powerful stuff right away, talking about praise, like waiting for God in Zion, a specific place, and vows being fulfilled there.
Right, Zion, that, central place. But what strikes me is how fast it pivots.
Pivots how?
Well, from Zion, this one location, it immediately goes to, "O you who hear prayer, to you all people will come." So it's suddenly universal.
Yeah.
God's not just there, God hears everyone, everywhere.
Yeah, that's a huge shift, and it's direct about why people are coming, isn't it?
Absolutely. It hits that human reality hard. We are overwhelmed by sins.
That feeling, yeah, like it's piling up.
Exactly. The weight of our transgressions. But then crucially, the next line is right
The
there.
forgiveness part.
Yes, you forgave our transgressions.
Right.
It's presented as just what God does. It's active, not just a concept, but an action. Relief, really.
So you have this universal need, universal access, and divine forgiveness. But then it seems to narrow down again.
Talks about blessing.
Right. The ones God chooses, brings near. To live in God's courts.
Yeah, filled with the good things of your house. It moves from that broad accessibility to a real intimacy.
What does that closeness really mean here? Dwelling in the courts.
I think it suggests more than just access. It's about belonging, being sustained, finding security right there, close to the sacred. It's a contrast to that feeling of being overwhelmed by sin we just talked about.
Okay, so you've got the wide lens, then this intimate focus, but then, wow, it just zooms out again massively.
It really does. Suddenly it's about God answering with awesome deeds of righteousness.
And being the hope for everyone, all the ends of the earth, the farthest seas, the scale is just immense.
It is. And look at the imagery used to describe that power. Forming mountains.
That sheer power, yeah.
Stilling the roaring
Yeah.
seas. And not just nature's chaos, but the turmoil of the nations, too.
So geological power, natural power, even political, well, social power, control over human conflict.
It speaks to a fundamental ordering of reality, I think, a deep sovereignty.
And that kind of power gets a reaction, right? Those living far away fear your wonders. There's awe, maybe even a bit of fear.
Definitely awe. But then it also says that same power makes morning and evening, like the whole cycle of the day, shout for joy.
So fear and joy existing together in response to this immense power.
Exactly. And here's where, for me, the psalm does something truly fascinating.
Okay.
After painting this picture of, mountain-forming, sea-stilling, nation-calming power, it shifts completely. It zooms right back in, but this time to the land, to agriculture. You care for the land and water it, you enrich it abundantly.
Wow, yeah, that is a pivot from cosmic force to gardening almost.
It's incredible, isn't it? The focus becomes so detailed. The streams are filled with water, specifically to provide the people with grain.
It gets down to drenching furrows, leveling ridges, softening the ground with showers.
Think about that. The same power that holds back the oceans is also gently soaking the soil for seeds.
It shows this incredible intimacy within the power. It's not just distant force, it's involved in the basics.
Exactly. Involved in the essential cycles. You crown the year with your bounty, your carts overflow. It moves from the small steps to this picture of just overwhelming abundance.
Overflowing grasslands, hills covered in gladness.
Meadows full of flocks, valleys draped in grain. It's a picture of sheer natural wealth and life.
And the land itself is part of the chorus now. It's not just people. The meadows and valleys shout for joy and sing.
Right, so you have the roaring seas being stilled, the nations being calmed by this immense power.
And that same power is working quietly, tenderly, to bring about this abundance, this different kind of joyful noise from the earth itself.
So when you trace that whole journey in the psalm, from prayer everywhere to being close to God to this massive power, and then right down to the details of rain and crops, it really leaves you thinking.
It definitely does.
Maybe the question to sit with is this. How does recognizing that huge, awesome power, the kind that shapes mountains and calms chaos, how does that connect so directly, right here in the text, to the very careful, most mundane work of watering the land and growing food?
And what does seeing that connection tell you about where you might find the sacred? Is it only in the huge moments, or is it also deeply present in the cycles of growth and daily provision?